You do not like me filming your nib nips? Sorry.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Purls and Pyrs podcast. I am your host, Nina, otherwise known as Ine, on Instagram, Pinterest, Ravelry, all the social medias. And to returning viewers, thank you for coming back, and new viewers, thank you for joining me. I'm so grateful for everyone who comes to watch the nonsense. So it is May 28th, I think, 2024. And it's been a little bit over a week since I've recorded a podcast, and I'm recording from the floor of my office. It's really hot outside, so it's about 80 degrees today for a high, and I'm just really warm right now. So apologies if I appear very sweaty, because I am very sweaty, but I am sitting on the stone floor, so hopefully that's going to help with the being too hot. I'm drinking hot coffee because I don't ever drink iced coffee, even when it's really hot. I'm not an iced coffee kind of person. I will drink iced tea, but not iced coffee. So anyway, there you go. For this week, I don't have any finished objects. No, I don't have any finished objects. I have a bunch of whips and some acquisitions that I got a couple of weeks ago, but I forgot to show them because it was a pre-order from Chromatic Yarns, and I ordered it, I don't know, a while ago. But it came, I wound some yarn up right away, and then I was like, I should show it before I start just knitting with it because I want to share it. So, let us jump into it. So let's see. So first, I'll show this because this was not as far along before. So this is my test knit for Samantha Guerin Designs. It's the Seagrass Tank. At the time that I recorded last time, there was not a name for this pattern, and there now is. So it is now the Seagrass Tank. I think I was working on the back part. So basically you knit the back, and then you pick up stitches to do the straps for the front, and you work the front, and you join it all together at the armholes and then work your way down. That's kind of, I think, how most tank tops are. Sometimes you would knit, I'm trying to think if there's other ways that I've seen it. Sometimes I've seen it that you're like starting at the top, but you do a provisional cast on so that you can unpick that and then work your way down the front, or you work bottom up and then kind of work the straps last if everything's kind of stopping here, and then you're just working up and over for the straps. But somehow you have to work flat at some part of doing a tank top. So that's how Samantha did it. It has a really nice lace detail that goes down the front and the back along the armhole, and then it is staying for the rest of the tank going down the body. This is really hard to show. I've got kind of weird lighting, but I don't want to turn towards the other part of the room because I've got a bunch of fabric out and it looks kind of messy. So you get my nicely stored fabric shelf instead with plants. Yay. My bird nest fern is doing very well right now. Yeah, so I'm very happy to be working in the round now. It was not fun doing all the pieces because I felt a little bit like I was wrestling an octopus just because there was kind of knitting hanging everywhere, and I left the back part on the cord from the first needles because I figured that'd be easier than like putting it on waste yarn, because I knew I was going to come back and join it in the round pretty quickly. So I just put end caps on the cord, and so I had the end caps flopping around, and it was a whole thing. But anyway, it's done for the back and forth part. And so yeah, now we're working in the round. I've got I don't know, maybe 2 inches of the body done. since I've joined it in the round. I do kind of want to go and work the armhole hem and the neckline because I don't like how like rolly it is right now. It doesn't have a lot of structure because you're going to come back and pick up and knit. And it's a folded neckline and like folded armholes. And I think it would just like turn more nicely if I didn't feel like it was just crinkling up constantly, because you can see like how much it wants to roll. It just wants to roll up into a little ball and think about what it's done. I don't know. Anyway, so I might pause and do the neckline. God, this is getting such weird lighting. Okay, yeah, okay. So the yarn I'm using is Pyrs and Hellhounds yarn. It is the Dear Thisbe colorway from the Red, White, and Royal Blue book box that Gabby did. I have two skeins. I'm alternating them. I showed them in my last episode. One is pretty significantly lighter than the other. I think that's the one I got as like the blind date skein, but it's totally fine. Like now that I'm alternating skeins, you wouldn't be able to tell in the actual tank itself. But if you hold them up next to each other, one has just a lot more of that gold in it. See if I can take them out of the bag. I also need to switch bags because the bag is kind of too small to hold the project and stuff. So this one is a lot darker than this one. And you can tell more on camera than you can in person, but it's totally fine. Alternating them is working really well. I'm very happy with how it's knitting up so far. Right now I have it in this project bag, which is one that I sewed myself. But I use it more for socks and like hat projects. It's not that great when you get to like a multi-skein project like this where it's going to keep getting bigger. So like a garment, it's definitely not meant to be a garment project bag. So I do need to switch it to a bigger project bag. I just haven't done it yet. I'll probably do that today. And then I'll swap in something into this bag because I really love using this bag. So yeah, that's that one. The seagrass tank. I'm using a Progress Keeper from Charmed and Dangerous. It's like a espresso blondie, I think. It's really cute. I was trying to get stuff to match the whole color palette of this thing. So yeah, you can see like I really have to mash it down in there to zip it. So I haven't been zipping it. And then if I add in the pattern, it's just really stuffed in this bag. So anyway, that is whip number 1. Whip number 2, I may switch these because this is just a little more loosey-goosey. Even though it is still a sock project bag, it's bigger. Because I think I can unbutton the bottom, if I remember right. This is one by something Acorn. I'll look in a second. Yeah, because I can unbutton that. It can be a box bag on the bottom, or it can unbutton and just be like a sack. It is Chasing Acorns. Yes, I was right. It's something Acorn. Chasing Acorns. This is a bag that my mom got for me as a gift. Yeah. So I think I'm going to swap those bags. Anyway, I finished a sock. So this is some yarn that I got from Gabby when she was still dying under the Once Upon a Corgi name. So now Pyrs and Hellhounds. This is the Because Pumpkin Spice colorway. And it's on the Marie Cutie base. And I had put it on hold, so I'd knit the leg, and then I put it on hold because somewhere in my house, supposedly, I have a Warm and Cozy skein, which is exactly the color of this brown stripe in this sock yarn. However, I can't find it anywhere, and I'm pretty sure that I gifted it to someone. I think maybe my sister. I don't know. Let me know, Missy, if I did give it to you. Or possibly Andrea, or maybe my mom, but probably not my mom because she's not a huge browns fan. She doesn't really like brown and orange and stuff like that. That is not a color she would gravitate towards at all. Let's see if I can turn this a little bit. You'll get my space heater, but maybe. It's just so weird. Okay. We're just getting very weird lighting because the sun is going in and out of the clouds. Okay, that's better. So anyway, yeah, I had put the leg on hold, and it was on hold for a long time. Like, I think I was working on these. I cast them on last year in the fall, and there they sat. And I was like, I don't know where this skein is. I'm just going to do it. So I just did it in the normal yarn. Like, I didn't do a contrast heel or toe. I just did it all in the Because Pumpkin Spice. And it did do a little bit of weird pooling, because that's what self-striping does. If you work the heel in the colorway, most of the time it's going to give you a little bit of strangeness just on the part of your gusset where it's bigger. This is why a lot of people work short row heels if they're doing self-striping yarn, because then it doesn't do this. But I hate short row heels. They don't fit my foot. I have a very high arch, so they just don't fit me. So anyway, one sock is now done. Once I decided to do that, I worked through the foot on Saturday, maybe? I took off Friday. Monday was Memorial Day, and then today is Tuesday. So I took off Friday and Tuesday, and then I already had a 3-day weekend. So it was basically 5 days off for me, which is unheard of for my job. I don't usually get that many days off in a row. So it's been really nice. I got a lot of stuff done. I got housework done that I'd been kind of having to put off, and yeah, it's just been very relaxing. So it's great. I cast on immediately for the second one. So this I worked just last night at bedtime. I just wanted to have something on the needles, so I at least had started the second sock. So yeah, and this is the yarn in the skein. I'm working those for the Halfway to Haunts make-along that I mentioned last time, that Penny Moons is hosting. And also, obviously, the Shop the Stash Mal that, let's see, Jaded Knitter, Crafty Knitter 7. No, it's not Crafty Knitter 7 anymore. It's like Crafty Knitter Sits and Reads, I think. Sorry, Sue, I don't remember what you renamed your Instagram handle, but she was Crafty Knitter 7 for a long time. They host the Distant Stitches podcast. And I think they're also partnering with some other people from other podcasts, but I don't know. So you should check the Distant Stitches podcast to find out who they're co-hosting with, because I don't want to say it and be wrong. And then the Stash Galore 2024 make-along, which is being hosted by Twin Aura Knits, also a really good podcast that's hosted by Erica and Jess, and they're twin sisters. They're thus Twin Aura Knits. So yeah, it kind of fit into all the categories because this is very old stash for me, and yeah, something autumnal for Halloween. So that is my second whip. And then the third thing, are the other two in here? That's a good question. Also, how cute is this? It's a pencil bag from Staples, but it's super soft and fluffy, and it's got a pom-pom on its zipper. I've been using it as a notions pouch. So I've got my little tin of notions in there and stuff, and it's so soft. I love it. Anyway, I digress. Okay, so the next thing I've been working on is my sea glass tee, and I'm knitting this out of the Book of Spells Advent from Chromatic Yarns. It was last year's Advent that Hannah did. I'm super excited for this year's Advent too, because it's a Muppet Christmas Carol. It's going to be amazing. Yeah, so I have separated for the sleeves. Yay! And I've moved into the greens now. So this was the purples, this was the pinks. So purple kind of went into pink, and then this green has pink in it. It's hard to see from far away, but when you get closer up, you can see where I've been doing stripes. I do about 2-inch stripes of each of the colors, roughly. I did, I think, a little bit extra on the pink because I didn't want to start a new color right before I separated for the sleeves. So yeah, I separated for the sleeves and then switched colors. So the background skein is all the main skein from the advent calendar, and that colorway is Wish. So you can see it on the neckline and a little bit on that first row. You can see it more on the back because there is short row shaping in this pattern. It's funny, like I'm working two things that sound extremely similar. So the sea glass tee from Wool and Pine Designs, and then the sea grass tee from Samantha Guerin Designs. I don't know, it's a theme. So this one is my second sea glass tee that I've made. The first one I did kind of all out of various just minis that I had or leftovers from projects, but this one is truly out of an advent calendar. I was able to make the first one basically with one skein of the main color. But I shortened the sleeves significantly from what the pattern called for. I basically just picked up the stitches, did one round plain just to get the picked up stitches on the underarm, and then I went immediately into the ribbing on the cuff. I think the pattern calls for you doing some rows of color work and then doing like 2 plain rounds and then doing the cuffs. But I knew I wouldn't have enough because I barely had enough left to finish it up with a single skein. So your mileage may vary. I am knitting the second size in the pattern, which I think is a 40-inch bust. Yeah, it's really nice. It might be a 41-inch bust. I should just check. I think I've got it in here. No, I do not. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. It's in pretty bad shape at this point because this is the second time I've knit off of this print out. So I'm going to have to make notes this time so that, because look at this. So that if I want to do a third one, that I'll remember my modifications. Anyway, I am making the 41-inch bust. Yeah, so that's why it's the second size. The first size is the 37. The second is a 41. It goes all the way up to a 68-inch bust. It suggests... How much ease does it even suggest? I don't think it makes any suggestions, actually. So you do what you want. Anyway, 41 inches is negative ease for my bust, but positive ease for my waist and up here. So yeah, that's why I chose that size. But I could make the 41-inch bust size with basically a longer torso than what the pattern calls for, with a single skein of the main color. So I can actually tell you the colorway names now because I've got my card, which I did find. So here is the card that I got with the Book of Spells Advent Calendar last year. So I started with colorway number 6, which is Teleport. So that's the really dark purple here. The next one was Bane. That's 7. 8 is Dispel Magic. 9 is Charm Person. So 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 is Summon Demon. So this bright pink is Summon Demon. And then now I'm in Speak with Plants, I think. This one was very druid focused, which I love because I play a druid in our current D&D campaign. I play a halfling druid and I love her to death. So I'm on 19. It's plant growth, sorry. Plant growth is what I started with, so number 19. And I'm going to go all the way through to 24, I think. However, 22 is really, really similar to the main skein. So I'm actually going to hold this one back and use this for the cuff ribbing because I think the yardage is ever so slightly off between the one I used, which was Hay Sister Yarn Co. for my pink one, and Chromatic Yarns. They're basically the same, but that's my insurance policy, is that I've got enough. So it should be completely fine. I can make the bottom ribbing a little longer if I want to. I can make the cuff ribbing a little longer if I want to, because I have that skein that's similar enough on this to be fine. Yeah. So I think the green looks a little bit jarring right now because we've had so much purple and then the pink wasn't that far off. But I think once I do the pink to the blue, or the green to the blues, it's gonna all like pull together. So I just need to knit some more stripes. And I also think that shows a little bit more that it actually is stripes. Like then your eye can actually see it rather than thinking it's all this just contiguous stuff. In person, I can definitely see that there's sections that are different colors. So anyway, that is my sea glass tea with my Book of Spells Advent from Chromatic Yarns. And then also from Chromatic Yarns, I'm doing my Musselburgh hat with this main skein, which was the prior year's Advent calendar. This one is Beguiling Aurora. This was the main skein from that Advent calendar. And I'm holding it double with this skein of mohair from Vita Lifestyle in Lucky Charms. So those two together are making this fabric, which I very much love. And I think that this is the length that I want my end hat to be. So I basically just need to double this the other way for the Musselburgh hat. So I think since I podcast last, I've knit from this hedgehog marker down. So about almost 4 inches. No, 3 inches. Because from here to here is about 4 inches on my hand. So that is my Musselburgh hat. And that is basically everything that I've been knitting on the last week or so. I do want to... I'm going to pull Josh's sweater back out now that I'm getting closer to being in a good place with my test knit. So I think the test knit is due July 3rd, tentatively. So that was helpful. So I think once I get to like the waistline, then I'll feel good about starting to pick up and knit on his sweater again. So yeah, that's my next plan. I want to have it done by Rhinebeck. That's my goal, is to have his sweater done by Rhinebeck, which would be October. But I did swatch for the yarn I was, didn't put my pattern back in there. I want to do that real quick. I did swatch with the yarn that I showed in the last podcast episode because I wanted to see how it behaved when it was washed. because it's a cotton hemp nylon blend, and I've never knit with a cotton hemp blend. I assumed it'd be kind of like linen, but I also haven't knit with linen. I've knit with 100% cotton before and like a cotton acrylic blend, but never with cotton hemp. And the acrylic in this is very slight, like 2%, or sorry, nylon is 2%. Okay, so this is Katya Summer Swede, if you didn't watch last episode, and I got a sweater's quantity of this and a lime green color to stripe it together in the As If pattern by Marcella Chang. So it is a V-neck, good grief, V-neck top-down raglan. Raglan? It's a good question. Let's see. No, it's contiguous set and sleeve method, which I also haven't done before. It was developed by Susie Myers, and I believe I did start working a top. It was the Wonderland top. I remember that, and it was a short sleeve tee, but I realized I wasn't going to have enough yarn for it, so I ripped it out. But I did start knitting a contiguous set and sleeve method because I was like, I don't see raglans on this, so I don't think it actually is a raglan. However, I'm going to do long sleeves for mine. This pattern is written for both. It's written for short sleeves or long sleeves. And on this one, the stripes are all an even thickness. However, I am going to do thick stripes of the purple and very thin stripes of the green. Here, I'll use the schematic to demonstrate. So I'm going to do like a really thick stripe of purple and just like a 2-row stripe of the green. So 1 row to put the stitches on there, and then 1 row to do like the jogless stripe method. And then boom, I'm going to go right back to the purple again. So I think I'm going to have like micro stripes of the green, but like mainly the purple. Because I only have 3 or 4 skeins of the green and I have a crap ton of the purple. So purple is going to be the main color of the whole sweater, and the contrast or the ribbing will be purple as well, not the green. I did get gauge-ish with this pattern, so it's 5.5 stitches, and I feel like whenever you're into a half stitch, it's a little subjective, and I'll explain why here in a second. Because it is cotton yarn, cotton with hemp, so it's a little slubby. So it's kind of hard to measure. So you can see it, like every once in a while you get these weird, like irregular, slightly bigger stitches, which is nice. That texture is really cool and interesting, but it makes it very hard to measure gauge because that half stitch is like a plus or minus, you know, of like, is that a half stitch or is that a full stitch? So in some places where it was very regular, I did get 5.5 stitches per inch. And in some places where I got this weird slubby bit, I was at 5 stitches per inch, but my row gauge is almost perfect. I think it is perfect. So I think that that's just down to the irregularity of the yarn, and it's going to be fine. And I'm also knitting it. She doesn't have a size 40. She has a size 38. So I think with my gauge being ever so slightly larger, it's going to work out really well that I'm going to pick that size 38, because the other option is a 42, and I think that's going to be too big. So I'm going to do a 38-inch bust, and yeah, I think it's going to be really good. It's going to be a good, like, summer evenings going into, like, the end of summer, beginning of autumn, where you start to get those crisp evenings, but it's still warm during the day. I think this is going to be a great, like, sweater to pull on over a tank top. Yeah, and this purple, oh my god, I love this purple so much. It's going to look really good, right? It's going to look so good. I'm excited. And that lime green pop is going to be great. Yeah, so I'm excited about that, and I wanted to get it knit up, and after washing it and blocking it, it's so soft, and it's very kind of drapey. So I think having a nice, like, stripes and a v-neck. It's going to be good. It's going to be good. So that is that. It smells nice too. I use Tuft Woolens in the chai spice. I think it's chai scent. It's very nice. Okay, so that is my swatch. So I guess that is all my knitting now. Sorry, Hubble. I disturbed him. So the acquisition I was talking about that I didn't get to show for the last couple of episodes, but I wanted to make sure I did, is I got some colorways from Hannah's Stardew Valley collection. So if you don't know, I really love the game Stardew Valley and really enjoy playing it. And yeah, so Hannah did a collection of Stardew Valley colorways, and I knew that I wanted to get some of them, so I did. So I ordered 3 of the colors, and I'm actually working on my way through doing moving the Stardew Valley socks by Oakwood Knits to be colorwork yoke sweaters. Why this is short now? I don't know. I don't know. Making them into colorwork yoke sweaters. So some of this yarn is going to be used for that, and some of it is just I like the color and I wanted to make some socks. So this one is going to be a pair of socks, but this is Junimos. And Junimos are like these cute little alien creatures that are like spirits of the forest. And they're kind of helpful, and you're helping them by bringing them things to complete like little collections of stuff. And yeah, you're improving the community center to bring back the community in Stardew Valley. So this is Junimos. So it's a cream color with lots of different speckles of all the colors of Junimos. There's going to be a lot of crinkling, because UK cellophane is very crinkly. Here's her label. It was so cute. Okay, and this one was Mayor Lewis's Lucky Shorts, which is one of the quests that you go on to find Mayor Lewis's lucky shorts that he misplaced, and they're found in a very compromising position. Let's just say that. So it is a lavender with dark purple splotches. The shorts themselves are his boxer shorts, and they have white polka dots on them. So they're purple with like white polka dots. So I want to knit a pair of socks out of this, or maybe a hat, I don't know. But I got one skein of that. And then these two are for the summer design of the Stardew Valley socks, but the sweater. So on the summer socks, it's like a field, and then it goes kind of down into the beach because there's an ocean in the town, in Pelican Town, and then it has water at the bottom of the sock. So my plan was to do like the field with all of the summer crops, and then kind of the beach, and then the body of the sweater would be the water. And I'm going to do a short sleeve sweater of that one, obviously, because it's the summer. So I'm going to do a summer sweater. So I got 2 skeins of the main color that will be the body of the sweater. And this one is Night Market, which is a mini festival in Stardew Valley where like there's basically like boats that are set up, and you walk along between gangplanks of the boats, and you can like buy stuff, you can drink coffee, you can get your fortune told and stuff. So it's nighttime for that festival, but there are like really bright colors and stuff. So I think Hannah really represented that well with like all of the splotches of different bright colors, but I love the blue. The blue is so nice. So I think it's going to make really good, like, body of that sweater with the oceany color. And since I won't be using any of this in the main yoke, probably, no, I won't. Nothing in the yoke. I should have enough to also make a pair of socks, because if I'm only doing the torso and then like a teeny bit of sleeve, I might only use one skein. So that's my thought, that I will probably have a second skein available to make a pair of socks out of this colorway, which is nice because I love it. It's so pretty. I don't have anything like this in my stash. And it is on the sturdy sock base, which is 75, 25, superwash BFL, and nylon. Yeah, just look at that purple. It's just so good. This one is so good. And I was sad that I hadn't showed it. So now I have showed it. Okay, you've seen it. Of course, Hannah also includes a Bird and Blend tea bag in every order that you get. So she sent strawberry lemonade this time. So I'm probably going to make this one today. This is hot. And I think it would be good. Yeah. So that is basically all that I have to share for this week. Nothing else is really happening. I think I'm going to safely put away my space heater for the season. I won't need it until it's winter time again, because this office just gets kind of cold. So it does help to not have to crank the furnace and just, you know, keep this room a little bit warmer. But yeah, I don't need it now because it's nice and warm. So thank you all for joining me. I hope that you all have a good week. And for those in the US, if you got to have the day off on Monday, I hope you got to spend it doing something fun. And I will talk to you guys next week. All right, bye. So I thought since we just mowed that I would come out and show you how our orchard is progressing. But my battery is low, so we'll see how much we can get done. So here is a nectarine. This is another nectarine. Here. This one is also a nectarine. It's very short, but it's a crazy strong plant. So it's got two sides to it. It's kind of blending in with the grass there, but you can see how many leaves it has. It's nuts. I believe this one is a peach. Let's see. Yes, this is a peach. We moved, sorry, I'm getting spider sulked. We moved some tulip poplars to try to kind of reforest this space where the dead ash trees were. But, yeah, it's going to take a long time. This one is a peach as well. I think this is another peach. Yes, it's another peach. And then this one should be a nectarine. Nope, it's a peach. That one might have been a nectarine then. This one's a peach. And then this one is an Asian pear combo. So each of the grafts is a different Asian pear. But this one, they all got munched on by deer. This one only has one leaf. So we're not sure if it's going to survive. It's a Shinseki. That's the one that might not live. But the rest of them are okay. It has enough leaves. It'll be all right. This is going to be our squash patch. So we took little like felt buckets and filled them with compost. That's not quite ready to be out on the garden. But squash love fresh compost. So we have kind of pumpkins, butternut squash, and I think acorn squash are the three kinds. So yeah, we've got 4 in this row, 3 in this row, and then 3 in the last row. So 10 total, and potentially we will put melons out here in the future. We haven't decided. I think we could fit another one right there and have melons. But this is a good start for this year. This is the time where they're going to get all their sun right now because the sun's coming from the back. And then later in the day, it's shaded here. And then obviously we've got our chickies here. Their pasture is going really well this year. They've got to have salad times a few times, but we're kind of keeping it controlled. We moved our blueberries here and here. So these are blueberries now. And there are berries on here. Oops. Sticking on a stick. These are all berries. So we should get something this year. This is our original peach tree. Then in here, we've got honeyberries. So these are all different varieties of honeyberries. They have berries on them right now. Again, they're kind of underneath the leaves, so they're hard to see. This is what we use if we move around the chickens. Kind of like a chicken tractor, but not really. And then in here, we've planted a bunch of clover to take over for whatever this plant is. But it's a plant that hosts ticks, and we don't like that, so we took it out as much as we could. And then we've got strawberries, a bunch of strawberries in here. That's ultimately what we want this all to be. But anyway, this tree right here is the almond. We have almonds on it this year. Hazelnuts. We've got tons of strawberries, so I'm out here to pick strawberries. But now we've planted Berry Hill is what we call this. So we've got alternating blackberries and raspberries in each of the positions. And then there's also strawberries mixed in on the bottom and clover. This is a black raspberry. All staked up. And then down below, we've got pears. We made a little pear grove. So there's a pear, and pear tree. And then we moved our currants there along the side. And then we've got these. We added 2 raised beds this year. And Josh built these, what do you call them? Like scaffolds out of PVC pipes. And then we're tying supports on for all the tomatoes and peas and stuff. So this bed has tomatoes in it. So the center one, the big one, is an heirloom beefsteak variety. This one is, I think, is this the black crim? Yeah, so this one's like one of those real dark purple ones. And then sweet 100s, I think, and kind of a grape tomato here, or a smaller tomato. And then we put good grief, spinach across the bottom. So there's spinach in all of those spots that should be shaded nicely by the tomatoes. And then here, this one is an ananas something, ananas noir, which I think is like one of those red, orange, yellow tomatoes. It's really pretty. Sorry, a bug landed on my hand. And then we are succession planting radishes. So we did these 2, and then 2 weeks later we planted 2 more rows, which was just yesterday, so they haven't sprouted. Over here we started seeds. They've been mixed success. So these are carrots. These were beets, but they've sort of been eaten. And then green onions, which again have been kind of eaten. There's a bug. There's 1 green onion that's okay and 1 beet that's okay. Otherwise, they're really underperforming. I don't know. And then these are sugar snap peas. So they're obviously growing up really nicely. We've got flowers on many of them, so we should start having some pea pods pretty soon, which is nice. This is our current compost area, but we're gonna move this to the back now that we've got the squash patch kind of there. Josh wants to move this back by the squash patch, which I think will be nicer anyway, because then you won't see it when you first drive in, because right now it's one of the first things you see. Yeah, so that's basically the garden. We did espalier this apple here. So that was a Honeycrisp that wasn't doing really well, but we put it up against the deck and it's, you know, like this. So it's espaliered. And then we did add a rain barrel this year, so we've been watering all of our garden here with the rain barrel, which has been awesome and very exciting. Oh, we do have another addition. I should go down there so I can show it to you. A couple additions. Okay, so down here we are, like I said, here's the currants. So we've got black and red currants, and between them are, good Lord, I'm blanking now. They're things that taste like cranberries. It'll come to me later. I want to say juniper, and that's wrong. Here's wintergreen, and it's really spreading. So this and that, you can kind of see these little bright reddish leaves. Those are the wintergreen spreading, which is what we want. We want this whole area to be full of wintergreen because it wants to be full of poison ivy, and we don't want that. Here's our other wintergreen, and we have one more that we'd like to get, but the place that has them hasn't had it in. My peonies are doing really well. So this is the first year these have opened. I didn't even know what color they were. I just bought them in like a surprise pack. So apparently I have a bright pink, a very white, and then that one is kind of a blush pink. It opened earlier this year and the bloom has already fallen off. We moved our butterfly bush down here and it's doing really well. And then this and this are cranberry bushes, Wentworth cranberry bushes, which I guess are a honeysuckle variety. There was also a bonus one in there, right there in between. So we were able to separate it out and plant it as well. So hopefully we'll have 3 and they'll kind of hedge up here. And then Josh repositioned this Rose of Sharon from the front yard. It was where the rain barrels are now. He also built this with the leftovers from our retaining wall. They had a whole extra pallet they bought for our job and didn't end up using it, and they were like, well, we're not using this stone anymore, so if you want it, you can have it. And we were like, yes, we do. So he used it to build that little retaining wall over here, which is awesome. Sorry, I'm not paying attention because I don't want to step in poison ivy. So I'm not looking at what the camera is pointed at right now. Okay, then this is a salmonberry. This is a salmonberry. That's a salmonberry, and there's one more over there. So our idea is that we'll have a big hedge of salmonberries here eventually, because they grow very big and thorny. They're perennial, and they're the earliest fruit bearer, so it should be very, very early summer. And then ideally, if we can clean out this bracken behind here and the fallen trees and stuff, we would put persimmon trees here to have kind of like a little privacy from the neighbors, which their house is right there. And there's a little creek that separates us, so we would have some persimmons here that would kind of grow and again fill in trees that have fallen, and we would get some fruit from them. So that is kind of where the garden is at right now, and this general area will probably fill in eventually with like some paths and flowers and stuff like that, because my idea was to make this be like a pollinator garden. But right now we've filled in with the fruits we want, and then we're gonna fill in as we go with like other, flowers and stuff like that. I'd like to have some alliums, like the big puffy purple things, and then more generally, like, I think some hellebores would do really well down here because it's pretty shady. But yeah, there you go. That is the garden tour.